I'm Brennan Doherty, sitting here with Gibbons head football coach Stephen Wright with this week's edition of Gibbons Midweek Football Recap. Coach, 5 days after your team's big 53-14 victory on the road against Cedar Ridge, and just 1 day away from a big game at home against Chapel Hill. First, what do you make of your team's big win last week, and what are you thinking heading into tomorrow night's game?
I think, as I shared with you before, we were excited to get out there. Our emphasis was on getting a fast start, staying focused, and playing with high intensity, and we were able to do that. And so I was really pleased, especially with that first half effort, the way in which we came out and really established ourselves early on and maintained that in a dominating fashion in that first half.
Now, 26 points in the first quarter. For a team that struggled to, score in the first quarter, the first 2 games of the season, how nice has it been these past 3 games to really see your offense gel from the start and not even needing any time to get warmed up and just right from the start be firing on all cylinders?
That's been a nice bit of progress to see out of our group on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, when the defense is playing as well as it is right now, it sometimes makes it easy for us to get going when we're given favorable field position. But certainly we're coming out and executing at a higher level and taking care of the football and being more efficient in what we do play, from series to series.
Now your quarterback, Sean Stinkavage, a junior, it was his first year starting the season. A little bit of some troubles with turnovers at the beginning of the season, but each game, week by week, it seems like he's improving. How impressed have you been by your junior signal caller so far this season?
I've been really impressed. We've seen a nice maturity out of him. He's gotten a better grasp of the offense. He's finding a rhythm earlier in the game, and has done a much better job of taking care of the football. And I think that in large part comes with the experience that he's gained.
Now on the defensive side of the ball, they forced 6 turnovers against Cedar Ridge this past Friday. Defensive coordinator Okisa Smith's been stressing all season that he wants his defense to continue to force turnovers. I know he said y'all were having a little bit of trouble with that at the beginning of the season, but how important was it to see them finally have a big game and force 6 turnovers like they did last Friday night?
Well, I think it certainly engenders a new bit of confidence in them. It is something that we work on weekly, and it's been fun to see that pay off. They've done a great job all year in stopping opponents, but to be able to generate turnovers is really taking defense to another level. And like I said, they put us in such great field position, offensively, that it was the primary reason we were able to rack up as many points as we were in the first half.
Now they're led by defensive coordinator Okisa Smith. Coach, talk a little bit about what Coach Smith brings to the table and how valuable he is to your team.
Well, he's been extremely important to our success. He's a guy that has, had a very successful high school career, and then, ended up playing at Virginia Tech, and brings kind of that same hard hat mentality. Developing a blue collar defense that really is no frills, is aggressive from the gun, and is looking at dominating an opponent physically up front, and then creating turnovers on the back end.
Now, past Friday night, when your offense put up 53 points, they were doing so without Ben Grazen, running back, and Stephen Boyle, wide receiver. First off, how impressive were you that without 2 of the fastest players on your offense, they were able to be as explosive as they were? And also, what's the status regarding those 2 players with their injuries?
Well, first off, we were extremely pleased with Isaiah Witten and David Smith. DJ and Isaiah came in there and did a tremendous job filling in for Ben. We rotated them through series by series, and they both did a great job for us, with Peyton Yalfnick coming in the second half and doing an outstanding job as well. In terms of the status of Ben and Stephen, the good news is that little bit of time off that we gave them last week has done wonders for them. They both practiced with us this week and are going to be ready to roll Friday night.
Now, Dante DiMaggio had a few more balls thrown his way than usual with Stephen out. And he produced 4 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. You know, he's a guy who can be backup quarterback and line up in the slot, and even used him in the backfield a little bit against Cedar Ridge. Talk about how explosive he is and how big of a threat he is to opposing defenses.
Well, we've said all along that Dante's a tremendous athlete, and we want to find ways to get the ball in his hands. And we were able to do that against Cedar Ridge. And it wasn't so much Stephen's absence as it was the nature of the defense that we were playing against that made for some opportunities to get him the ball early on and see if we couldn't make some plays with him.
Now heading into your first conference game this Friday night at home against Chapel Hill, now the real season begins. Have you been able to convey that message to your team as a whole, saying, hey, this is where the real season starts?
Absolutely. Well, we certainly emphasize week to week that every game is important, but there's no doubt that that conference play just automatically brings kind of a new level of intensity, or at least a new layer of it. To what we do day in and day out on the practice field, but also on a Friday night. Sometimes there are weeks where we maybe have to work to get the kids up for a game, depending on the opponent. But there's been little doubt this week that a very talented Chapel Hill team is coming into town, and that our kids have been preparing, at a high level all week, and we're looking forward to Chapel Hill coming here and certainly providing a great atmosphere and a great game on Friday night.
Now, what are you expecting from this Chapel Hill team with them coming off of their first loss of the season, 35-0 loss at Carborough? What do you expect to see from them overall? I
expect to see what we see out of them every year. They're a fast, physical team. They've got a veteran quarterback. They've got a very talented tailback and a big playmaker who plays both wide receiver and corner for them. So, this is a team that's 5-1. They're not 5-1 by accident, and so we're excited about the level of competition that they bring, because it's high every time we play them, and it's going to be an extremely competitive game on Friday night, and looking forward to having them here.
Now your team's 5-0 in a 10-game season, halfway done. Overall, over the course of the first half of the season, what are some of the pros and some of the cons, some of the good things and things that you want to improve overall as a team that you've seen thus far?
Well, I think it's continuing to be efficient with the ball on offense and aggressive on defense, attempting to create turnovers. So, the front end of our schedule has allowed us the opportunity to play some outstanding opponents, and has really pushed us in all kinds of ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And we are looking forward to the back half of this season and seeing how well our first 5 games have prepared us for conference play.
Alrighty, that's all for this week, but you can see us again next week. Thanks for your time this week, Coach.
Thank you, Brennan.